Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Today let's analyze what was the pattern of BMS Kozhikode exam in 2025 because obviously we only have one reference paper. है ना? So let's try to analyze it. Now this paper heavily, relies on vocab and grammar. Okay, so people whose reading is very good and their vocabulary is good, they can analyze idioms and phrases. They are going to score very good in this exam because if you see, obviously the weightage of RC was maximum. Okay, there were around 16 questions of RC, but the RCs were not very difficult. They might be dense read, but the questions were very direct. They might be inference based, but they were not very difficult. Some questions were factual questions. So you could just easily go back to the RC and search for the answers. Okay. So RC, though it was there, but it was not as difficult as IPMAT Indore exam. It's definitely the difficulty level is lower than that of IPMAT Indore exam. Now it was very heavily vocab and grammar oriented. Okay. So for grammar also around 8 to 10, 16% of the total weightage was for grammar. The topics for grammar were same that we did for Rohtak and Indore. That is conditionals, active passive voice, subject verb agreement. So more or less the syllabus of grammar remains the same. You do not need to prepare anything different for grammar here. Okay. Vocabulary, there was lot of variety. Fill in the blanks was there, contextual vocabulary was there, or a word was used in a sentence and that particular meaning of the word was asked. Idioms were also used. Phrasal verbs, there were a lot of phrasal verbs question also. Okay. So basically, if you count, vocab, idioms, phrasal verbs, contextual vocab, this might, account for almost 30-35% of the paper. Okay. So for RCs also around 30 to 32% of RC questions were there. 30 to 35% of vocab questions were there. So RC and vocab alone is going to constitute around 65% of your paper. Okay. So obviously vocab heavy and RC heavy ही आपका paper होगा. Grammar भी होगा and grammar is very scoring because in 2025 what I observed was grammar was not very difficult. Okay. It was the common concepts that we have been doing in our YT classes also. So हमने जो YT के classes करे हैं for Indore, for Rohtak and अभी जो हम लोग कोझिकोड के लिए भी करेंगे. So those grammar classes would be more than sufficient for you to crack the grammar in this exam. Okay. Talking about RCs again, RCs भले ही difficult हो सकते हैं, but don't get afraid. Don't get bogged down by that because questions might be easy. Okay. So BMS in 2025 it was not very difficult RCs. Okay. So question 35 to question 50 were based on RCs. So around 15 to 16 questions were there for RCs. So make sure that you do not leave them. Have enough time. ठीक है, have enough time for RC कि आप RC अच्छे से solve कर सको उसके लिए. ठीक है. Now let's talk about little bit about the time distribution also. So there are 50 questions and 60 minutes. So obviously you're going to have more than 1 minute for the question, correct? So please make sure that again negative marking is there. So please make sure that you do not try to attempt so many questions. Okay? But time distribution can be like this that in first 15 to 20 minutes try to solve all the vocabulary questions, idiom questions, phrasal verb questions, and contextual vocabulary. Just finish it off. Next 10 minutes, you can solve grammar. So around 25 minutes में आप vocab grammar पूरा खत्म कर दो, है ना? Try finishing vocab and grammar in around 25 minutes. After that, you can give 15 minutes for RCs. ठीक है? RCs के लिए देना है. The RCs are not long. ठीक है? RCs बहुत long नहीं होते हैं. So 15 minutes would be more than enough. ठीक है? आप 15 minutes में RCs कर सकते हो इसके. 15 to 17 पकड़ लो आप. ठीक है? एंड देन एंड में जो भी क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग के 2-3 क्वेश्चंस आए थे वो आप कर लेना. ठीक है? यू विल स्टिल हैव सम बफर टाइम लेफ्ट. सो उस बफर टाइम में यू कैन रिविजिट सम वोकैब एंड ग्रामर क्वेश्चंस एंड मेक श्योर दैट आपने सिली मिस्टेक्स नहीं करी है. ठीक है? सो द जनरल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कैन बी लाइक दिस दैट 25 minutes vocab plus grammar, 15 to 20 minutes you can consider for RCs. You still have 15 minutes left. In that, you can give 7 to 8 minutes for other VA questions. and remaining 7 minutes you can keep for buffer time, and make sure that you revisit all the grammar and vocab questions and make sure that you haven't made any silly mistakes there. So this can be the general distribution that you can have. This is it. Thank you.